Is the land of the free turning into the land of free handouts? A group of Republican senators slamming the Obama administration over what they say is a weakening of citizenship standards for immigrants. Four high-ranking GOP senators sending a letter to Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano, questioning materials sent to Mexican consulate offices that promote food stamp usage. The materials say in part that food stamps will not be taken into account when considering visa applications. In the letter, the senators say, quote, "It has long been a sound principle of immigration law that those who seek citizenship in this country ought to be financially self-sufficient. We were thus shocked to discover that both the State Department and DHS exclude reliance on almost all governmental welfare programs when evaluating whether an alien is likely to become a public charge." Joining us now to break it down, Robert Rector, a leading national authority on poverty, the U.S. welfare system, and immigration. He's also a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I want to get your take on this. Where do we find the balance between compassion for people who are here and clearly maybe struggling to put food on the table and chipping away at immigration laws that now exist in the U.S. or should?
Well, the law does say that an immigrant who comes in who is likely to be a burden on the U.S. taxpayer shouldn't be here. But in fact, the entire immigration system massively violates that. The government does not enforce that public charge provision at all. And for example, a third of the immigrants in the United States today are high school dropouts. Those households will receive at least $3 in government benefits for every dollar that they pay in taxes. Over the course of a lifetime, they cost the U.S. taxpayer about $1 million per household. They're extremely expensive. They're a burden. But the immigration system says, come on in, the more the merrier.
Well, let me ask you a couple of different things. First of all, if somebody is here illegally and they do apply for some kind of federal aid, is their immigration status taken into account when a decision's been being made to whether or not to issue them benefits?
Yes, it is. Illegal immigrants per se cannot get welfare benefits, but many illegal immigrants have children that they've had in the United States, and those children are eligible for all welfare as well as for free public education. And this means that on net, those illegal immigrants impose a very strong cost on the U.S. taxpayer, as well as taking away 4 to 6 million jobs from Americans who need jobs.
Okay, in this letter, the senators to Secretaries Napolitano and Clinton say that when people are applying for visa or citizenship materials, going through the paperwork, that only 2 of 80 federal welfare programs are factored in. When they're asked about, are you on X type of assistance or help? Is that legal? Do we have laws that state something otherwise should be done when you're screening people?
The general principle of the law that has not been enforced and is completely disregarded by the Obama administration is that you're not supposed to have an immigration system that brings in people that are going to be a net cost on the U.S. taxpayer. Our immigration system in general disregards that entirely. And so, for example, at least half of the immigrants coming into the U.S. are either high school dropouts or have a high school degree only. Those individuals, on average, will receive about $10,000 a year in welfare benefits. They shouldn't be here according to the law, but the law is basically ignored.
Is this something you mentioned specifically, the Obama administration? Is it something new to this administration, or has this chipping away at really, truly enforcing the law as it is on the books, something that's been happening for a longer period of time?
It's happened for a very long period of time, and in fact, close to half of the immigrants that have come in the last 20, 30 years really should not be here admissible because they are a net cost on the taxpayer. The Obama administration has just kind of put frosting on the cake by aggressively promoting the use of these welfare benefits among immigrants.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that because I know that Senator Sessions, who signed on to this latest letter some weeks ago, raised concerns that there are specific programs to the Ag Department here in the U.S. that are there essentially is material that's reaching out to people who are not here legally saying, we have benefits, you should take part in those benefits. Right. I mean, that's his primary concern before you even get to the issues of how this impacts citizenship applications. My understanding was the USDA either took down those materials or made some change. Do you think this administration, when confronted with these issues publicly, is going to be willing to back off on some of this?
No, they have no intention of enforcing the public charge provisions whatsoever. They treat them as a kind of pointless joke. And the reality is that, for example, in a program like food stamps, if you're an illegal immigrant parent and you have a child that has been born in the U.S., and there are about 4 million kids like that, you can walk right into the food stamp office. They will know that you're illegal, but you will receive welfare benefits for your child, which come right into the illegal immigrant household. So the welfare system is very supportive of illegal immigrants, even though on the surface it's not supposed to be.
All right, Robert Rector, thank you very much for giving us some insight. The senators have asked that the secretaries respond by August 20th. We'll see what happens. We'll monitor it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.